Hey everybody, I just wanted to come on and put a few thoughts down. I was going to do a written blog, but I felt like it would be easier to speak it as I sit here and knit this afternoon. I was going to write another blog about the adoption situation from Teen Mom, as we have two of them in play at the moment. We have the aftermath of Caitlin and Tyler, carbon copy Carly, and her adoptive parents, Brandon and Teresa. And then we also have the situation with Christina, Gary, and Leah. I have covered my opinion on both in several publications I've done. Period. Sorry. But I feel strongly about this. I have strong feelings where I see the possibility of why Teresa said it was better to cut this situation off for my mental health. I say this because I can see how Teresa may think and feel that Caitlin and Tyler were looking at it as a co-parent situation where they think that they have some kind of influence, even though they did indeed cut off or sever, give up their parental rights legally. So there's that situation. Legally, Caitlin and Tyler are no longer Carly's parents. And they no longer have a say in what happens in Carly's life. I watched a video reel this morning from a woman who was adopted and who is very opinionated, thinking about how she thinks that Brandon and Teresa took advantage of Caitlin and Tyler. Well, at the time, Caitlin and Tyler did not have money. They were in a very toxic relationship with their parents, which they still are. There are definite things that are still toxic about the Baltiera-Lowell family dynamic. So I have serious concerns about how they would be able to raise Carly in a sane environment. Because if you think about the children they have post-Carly, Nova and Veda, they grow up in Carly's shadow every day, and I feel like Caitlin and Tyler don't do enough to make those girls feel the love as much as they should. Because everything is about Carly. Carly this, Carly that. I want to make sure Carly knows that I still love her. I want to make sure that Carly still knows that we think about her. What about thinking about how your daughters that you have custody of, that you are legally the parent of, feel? How do you feel as a mother, as a father, that consistently put your firstborn child, biological child, on a pedestal. So that's just how I feel. I feel like Caitlyn and Tyler are putting Carly on a pedestal, and they have emotional regret, etc., for placing her up for adoption now. And rumor has it that Butch and April wanted to do what Barbara did with Janelle's son Jace. Seriously, how do you think that would work? Carly would not have grown up in the wonderful faith-based, loving environment that she's grown up in. So, there's that. Now, shifting gears over to Leah. Well, hey, I think that Gary and Christina have been the best thing since sliced bread for that young lady. And she has been in a very loving, protected family. And if I were in the same situation, which I have been, where I waited until I was 18, finished high school, etc., to change my name legally, which obviously Leah doesn't need to do, but I do think they need to do something to remove Amber from the situation, knowing what Leah has said about refusing to film with Amber. And I feel like Leah is making her decisions. Which is great. Now, if Leah wants to have Christina adopt her, even though she's becoming 18, maybe as just a safety security blanket, then go through and do it. I didn't do the legal adoption for my own reasons, because it just didn't make sense for me. The changing of the name was enough. My stepdad was my dad from age 7 till 29. Lord rest his soul. And my biological father, I did not see him, have anything to do with him from age 16 to 18 in the end, because I refused to put myself in a toxic situation. I didn't do anything with him. I didn't go visit. I didn't do anything. He did show up to my high school graduation, I think, but I ignored him if he was there. As I digress, because my situation with my biological father was exactly similar to Leah. So it's difficult for me to separate the two. So that's the done ramble for the day. And I'm going to upload it. All my stuff is unedited, unscripted, just off the top of my head.